This video is just one part of a full series released right here week after week. Subscribe below and hit that bell to make sure you don't miss an episode. Enjoy. Today, Ginger excels at her career and leads a fulfilling family life. She appears to be the picture of happiness, but this takes work. Even today, she continues to proactively face her bouts of depression, armed with the self-help tools she learned in the psychiatric hospital and the many lessons she learned from past life obstacles. She is successfully managing her mental health. What is your list of things you go through?
Yeah, so if I wake up with that, and I always describe it as kind of like in the movie, you know how you have like the movie that's smushed a little? I think for me it starts like that, where like I'm seeing black from this part. I'm just seeing the rest of my vision from here. I don't want to block my light. But that's what it is. It's blocking my light, and then it just keeps closing in. And I can feel it, and I can feel the darkness kind of usually, depending on how serious that bout with depression has been. Sometimes it goes quickly, where it's like within a day. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's a slower process. But it's darkness. That's the best way. It's blinds shut. Nothing else matters. I don't want to see, or I can't function. And that's the depth of depression, I think, is that you have been this person the day before, and it's very confusing to wake up and either not feel like you want to live, or that you just, worse, are numb to everything.
And when you feel like that, you have tools that you use.
Yes.
And steps you go through.
And mine is the transparency first.
Okay.
So
husband and mom.
Husband and mom. I tell somebody. I wake up, I tell somebody. And then I usually make myself actually ask, what are the factors? And a lot of times I'm able to figure out, we're moving from the city, which I've lived for 8 years, to a place in the suburbs. And that's a big transition. Yep. And most people don't do well with transitions. So being realistic about the things that are happening, because you can run as fast as you can and you get through things, but you never give yourself actual moment to think about what just happened and how that might be serious in your little, this part of your life. Then realizing how small a part of life it's going to be, kind of going forward, and getting that big picture of, will this matter a year from now? No. And does it? A year, because this is a year ago, the last time I had probably a pretty severe one. No, it doesn't. I mean, it was actually good, because it helped me to realize I got better at dealing with those depressive moments.
You're so good. But see, you actually know your steps.
Yeah.
A lot of people go, well, I have my coping mechanisms. No. And I go, what are they? And I can see that they start thinking about them. They're like, what are my coping mechanisms again? Yeah. You knew. You go, step one this, step two that. Is this important? Is this big? Will this matter in a year? You know. And
what am I doing surrounding it? Have I already started drinking more? Have I already started doing these other things? What are the like calling cards for me? Because I have a lot of experience with it. And then who can I go to next to make this better before it gets to that point? And that would be I was already seeing Dr. Wilson, luckily, again at that time. That's when I know. And that already, I think it got me to 50% better, because I couldn't possibly just going through those simple steps. That's not to say that if you're in, there's different types of depression. Like I said, there are times where you can actually I could, and I still know that. That's the other thing, is being aware of it and having other people around you aware of it is the most important. It's just letting them know, hey, if you see this in me, here are the things that you can look for, and here's where you need to step in. I don't care what it is, Tell me this is happening, because I may not even see it myself.
Yeah. What role do you think medication should play in depression treatment?
I think that if there are a lot of ways to go about it. Everybody's depression is different. Every body, how they react to medications is different. I tried medication in a couple of my years past. Medication didn't help me because I didn't have the tools that went along with it. I think the combination might have been good, maybe. It turns out I don't need medication. I don't have that type of depression, and therapy is what I needed. And I needed to be real. I needed to be real with myself. Honesty was my medication, with myself primarily, and then with other people. Once I did that, and just like love is easy, life was much easier when it was just like, it should be easy. It doesn't need to be that hard. And that was what I needed. But there are plenty of people, including my mom, who now is the best person ever. I tell my 16-year-old sister, because she started taking medication when she was maybe a year or two, and finally found something that worked. I'm like, you don't know Mom. She doesn't know.
Wait, now hold on. You tell your 16-year-old sister what?
That my mom is not the mom that I grew up with.
A different mom.
Different mom.
Yeah.
And wonderful, and I'm happy she's growing up with that, but that's not her original state in the best way. My mom is a person who needs medication, 1,000,000%. And so I believe in medicine. There are some people that don't need medicine, and I'm happen to be that person.
I knew there was no way we would get to every part of your book because there are so many levels. And even on my Instagram today, I was saying that your book is not only a dive into depression and mental health and how to navigate that or how you navigated it, but it's also it's a career book. It's for anyone who wants to be in this industry, who wants to do local news, who wants to be a meteorologist. This is a career book.
Yes.
When people ask you, what is this book about? What do you tell them?
I know, it's funny. We had a young woman who wants to be a meteorologist, and she was in there, and she said, I started reading your book, and she's like, I didn't expect all the other stuff because she thought it was just about my journey in television.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course.
She's like, oh, wow.
You're like, here's my psych ward.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
But that's what I tell people is I think everybody could relate to it, even if you've never wanted to be in TV or had no. I think that the stories are interesting and they're funny, and I think it opens up a whole level of the local news person you see. It allows you to see what they went through, because a lot of people, everybody in the news world that reads this book, which a lot of people have, and they keep handing it around, and I keep hearing from people, they're like, that was amazing. We're the same person. We're just, so it's like it's the same story. I keep getting emails like that too. Last week I got the most beautiful one from this young woman, and she said, from the abuse, like it was like a carbon copy of her life. So I don't think I'm that unique. I think that just people hadn't told it this way before, and I just have this platform, so I happen to be able to tell that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the best piece of advice you can give?
So I used to always say, in a career way, is that, like find your passion, be able to, because people see it through your eyes, let that out. I think that the most general advice I give is it doesn't matter and nobody cares. Which is a horrible thing coming from someone who used to always want to kill themselves.
Right, and who cared about everybody.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I think that having that, and I actually have it where I've written it out and we put it in, my producer, who's like my best friend, we always look at it, and that's kind of our motto, is when you conflict or something happens, you have to do that checklist of, is this going to matter tomorrow? Yeah. Probably not. Yeah. Is it going to matter a week from now? No. Unless it's going to matter a year from now and it actually means something to you, you need to not give it any attention. If you're able to get to that point and for the right parts of your life, what a strong sense of self and just decision making you can do from that point forward. Just let it go. It's very much, I've been doing so much meditation, it's built into meditation. What's interesting though is, so it doesn't matter and then nobody cares. Realizing that people aren't going out of their way to do something against you. You're not, your interaction, they're all in their own head, in their own world, and if you can figure that out early enough and just be, slightly empathetic to that, but realize whatever they did or said, or the guy flipping you off on the highway, or like, that's their own deal.
That's their business.
Let that, you stay in yours, they'll stay over in theirs. Now, the difference being, and something that I'm working on now and realizing that meditation is helping me, is once you build that fence and you're able to use it so well, I think knowing when to reach over the fence, knowing when to still connect with people, that's my next evolution of me. And that's something that, even with my husband, I've gotten so good at not reacting or being like, well, that's his deal. But he's my husband. So you
have to care a little bit.
You have to care a little bit. You have to know when to care, where to care, and then know how to help others. And that's maybe where I'm at now, is then, once you get that and you have those tools, where do you put them and how do you display them so that other people can use them earlier in their lives than you got to? Yeah. And that's where I hope this will keep going. Because even with meditation, I'm realizing, and this is brand new, that I'm just finally figuring out, every time I'm listening, I'm like, yeah, but I'm already that way. Because they're usually telling you, well, there's a river of emotions, don't be washed away by it.
This is the meditation.
The meditation,
yeah.
Okay. So they'll say there's this river of emotions. A lot of people will stand there and they just get knocked over every time and they get drawn through it. And I'm like, so they're teaching you to not do that. They're teaching you to go to the side, realize it's there, be okay with it, okay, and then smell it, feel it, but then let it go. I'm like, no. I've been letting it go so much so that I've been like in a helicopter. Yeah. And I've been just staring at it. I know it's there, but I'm never going to get close. And I have to start, that's the fence reaching over, So it's like being able to be away from it isn't the right thing. So anyway.
Have you built your fences too high?
Some of them, because I had to go from being in a valley with people to building a tall fence. So now it's like finding the right fence for the right person and there are places where tall fences are very useful. Strangers, social media.
Yeah,
that's the easy place to do it. And that's why I've gotten so good at that. And I have such a strong sense of self there. Being able to do that in personal relationships and then figuring out that boundary and having, it's like more of an electric fence. Like you turn it off or on and it's like those, so I'm coming up with analogies that way and going back in time and realizing how much of a helicopter I was in over my emotions and being able to lower that, maybe rope down at times, check that out, feel it out, and then, if you have to go back up.
I get it. I live for a metaphor.
Yeah, that's where I keep finding my strength is being able to realize, where am I right now? Am I flying above it?
Yeah.
Kind of. But meditation for me, though this is the end thing, it's actually made me, I keep saying I think it's making me more anxious. It's making me the opposite of what it's supposed to do because I was already on the other end of not feeling. And so it's actually making me feel the awareness, which other people had to find awareness in calm. I was way too calm, but it was a false calm. It was a lying to myself calm. I'm now finding awareness, and it's like, oh, that hurts, or I love really hard. And your children do that to you, so that's what meditation's done for me. And I keep coming to my therapist every week. I'm like, I should quit meditation because I think it's making me worse. And he's like, no, it's not. It's making you more
Dr.
human.
Wilson telling you, no, bro, that's
you're
not
actually
how it works.
wrong. Don't do that.
Yeah, I love that. And that has to be right too, because I've never heard one person who said meditation didn't improve their life. So it's just a journey.
I know.
We'll all get there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I so get the whole Ginger Zee thing. I
thanks.
so get it.
Thanks.
I feel like, this is my best friend now.
Yeah,
We're
good.
gonna go on vacation, drink wine. Make sure you get Natural Disaster right here, the Ginger Zee story, and I'll be very excited for your next book.
Thank you.
And don't tweet me. Yes, she's as great in person as she is on TV. I'm Kyle Kittleson. Remember, whatever you're going through, you got this. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you just saw, then why not subscribe? Click right here for new episodes and new series every week. And to access exclusive mental health videos that we only release at MedCircle.com, check out the links below.